quite often you don't need a perfect UV map because you're going to paint it in a 3D paint application anyway. So having a perfect UV map is quite often not needed, especially not for technical models. So I thought I could just show you the one way going about that, and I'm going to use the name Unwrap. I'm going to use the name Unwrap because ABF is set that to use the name Unwrap by default. So if you don't use Unwrap as a name, then you need to cut paste UVs, and I'm not a fan, so I'm just going to use that name. It's kind of like dumb, I guess, that you can't really use a specific name for ABF, but that's how it is. It will always create this Unwrap name. So I'm going to use that name for Atlas as well to make things easier. Hit create, and you know what? You can actually use this right away in a 3D paint application, and it should be good to go. Because when you paint this, you're not going to really see the seams anyway. But of course, it all depends on if you use some algorithms and stuff. So sometimes you do want a good UV map, but you know what? UV maps are kind of like hyped. You don't really need. You often don't need really fantastic UV maps. It's just gonna take time creating them anyway. But I thought I'd just show this how you could use Atlas for that. But then I thought, you know, why not just show you how you can go further and improve this a bit. That's what we're gonna do. We'll take this guy right here and we'll send that to the background. Here you can see what that map actually looks like. So I'm not really a fan of this. In this case, we want to improve it. So what we're going to do is we're going to select these and use clear map, not delete map. That's going to delete the whole shebang. We're going to use clear map, and it's like that. So now you see that it didn't delete the map. This stuff is already still there, but it cleared it. And you have to do that in order to use ABF Unwrap. Or if you don't, then actually I could just show you what will happen if you don't. It's always best, I guess, to do that. Oh, this didn't loop. What does that mean? It means that some points are not merged. And it's quite important, actually, to have merged topology. So if I tab that now, yeah, okay, it looks good. That's a way to test it, by the way, using tab to see if everything's merged in a nice fashion. Okay, so loop that, take this one, because I want the seam to be right here, and then select path, and now I can use ABF. But it just looks horrible. Why is that? It's because I didn't delete this or clear this UV map. So it's kind of trying to tie a lot of these edge points to this guy right here. So it doesn't fly. I'm not sure why it would do that. It seems like a not good way of coding it, I guess. Maybe they forgot, I don't know. But anyways, what you need to do is you need to select this one and clear it. And then you can go about your ABF or PLG mapping. So we'll take these guys again, select that path, and then run ABF. And now it's fine. Okay, so cut that out, paste back in, and what do you know? It's actually looking pretty good. I'm gonna rotate that. And sometimes for easier texturing, you might, sometimes you just want to relax it. And it will be something like that. So it's going to be easier to fix the seam in Photoshop later on. So if you're using Photoshop, that is. If you're not using Photoshop, then you're using a 3D paint application, then it's not going to matter all that much. Anyways, just showing you ways to go about this. There are different rules. So yeah, that's how you can clean that up. So you can see now that this is quite a bit better compared to what it used to be. But of course that takes time. So the thing is, do you need to do it? I mean, if this is going to render at the distance of this, then often it's not needed, and even less so often if you use a 3D paint application. But anyways, it depends. So we'll get to learn that down the road. And of course, pretty much the same stuff applies to this one. What I noticed though, let's just, yeah, this has a thickness, so I'll just move that to the background there, and you'll see that this object has a thickness, and that's very nice if you want to 3D print it. If you don't want to 3D print it, there's really no reason for this to have a thickness. It's just going to cause problems. So I'll delete the thickness. We're not going to use it. Yeah, here you can see that this is what happens when things are not merged. Okay, so merge that. And yeah, that's how the ABF looks, what it looks like. Not fantastic in any way. We can take this loop right here, and then we can ABF it. No, I need to clear that map first. Clear the map and ABF. That was strange. Oh, okay. Perhaps not so strange after all. Yeah, because this is what happens when you have a bad topology. I didn't make this. Anyways, so do this, merge it, of course, and take these, and we got to clear the map again. Let's try it one more time, looping this and using ABF. There we go. Now it's fine. Guess I should. This doesn't work, so I guess I should use free move. What? Okay. Oh, you know why this is happening? It's happening because I'm using action center selection, but nothing is selected, so that's why that's happening. So there it is. Something like that. I just want to see how PLG goes about it. So what I'm going to do is, in this case, I'm just going to use PLG just to see what happens, and I'll use the same UV map, and let's take this one right here, advanced edge, make UV, and that's really not what I wanted. Yeah, it didn't select this last one, that's why. So I need to do that. Huh? Did it undo? Anyway. Let's try again. All of them are selected, make UV, and now it's fine. So you can see that often PLG will make a nicer map, but not always. And after all, ABF is capable. What you got to remember about this is that we do have this plugin, or actually in 2019 you have Quadify UVs or something like that. This is 11, level 11, so I need to use something else. I need to use Straighten UV. But the thing is, it's only going to just look at. It's only going to do it for quads. So I'll use these settings. Okay, and that's nice. But I can't really use it for n-gons or where you've got 5 or more polygons selected. So here you got this guy right here. So that's not going to work. It doesn't like that. Again, this is not really going to matter all that much if you 3D paint it, but if you do this in Photoshop, you really might want to have this meet up with the other side. So you could do that, I guess. Yeah. But of course, if you do this a lot, I mean, it's going to add time. I could relax it somewhat. Let's see if I go like that. No. Okay, like this. And never ever remember this. Relax UV. Okay. And yeah, there we go. So that's how you do it. So these are now locked because those were selected. They were locked, and it does relax it in a nice fashion. So, conclusion: is Lightwave capable of this? Is it? Can you do okay UV mapping in Lightwave? Actually, yes. Hell yes. You can do very nice and fast UV mapping in Lightwave. The thing is, you gotta just know how to, you know, because sometimes, I guess, I mean, there hasn't been a lot of videos on how to UV map in Lightwave, right? So it's easy to get confused, and I certainly understand that. I mean, when you unwrap something and you know the unwrapped looks like that, then of course you go like, you know, Lightwave sucks. But it's a rather easy fix in that regard, and so it doesn't. Lightwave actually doesn't suck for UV mapping. It's actually quite capable. That's pretty nice. But again, do ask yourself if the UV map needs to be fantastic looking, because why use tons of time UV mapping something if you don't have to? It's just really not necessary at all. And if you absolutely have to, then, okay, there's an inner object here. I don't know. Is it really necessary to have this inner object? Probably not. There's a thickness to it. I mean, that's nice, but it's not necessary at all. Okay, if so again, remember, take these guys and clear the map. Just try not to, just run ABF and it's going to look like that. Clear the map and then run ABF. And that's actually damn good, isn't it? So rotate it. And yeah. Clear the map. ABF. You might want to have it like that. You could, of course, also just take one of these guys and use and yeah, that's what it did, didn't it? Yeah, because these were cut out, it made this kind of pattern, and I was like, what happened there? And that actually creates this nice UV map, but it's not merged here, is it? So you'll get a split, and often that is okay. I just want to show you that if you merge these points, you're going to have quite a different result. So ABF and wrap on that. No, clear map, ABF and wrap. And yeah, there you go. So that's nice. You can see that it's going to be trickier to fix it. I mean, to paint it. Okay, so all right. I mean, we could do this all day, but and also do remember that it's quite important to have a good a nice object. But what you'll see here is that this has quite a lot of I mean, it's very nice. There's some mistakes, like for example here you can see that these guys here are not welded. So is it that dangerous? No. Okay, go like that. Let's see, that didn't work, did it? What didn't work? Okay, so like that. Tab it to see how it works. So yeah. These should be, oops, what happened? These should be welded. These could be welded also. It's going to create a better UV map for you. But there's a thickness to this, and we don't really want that. Not sure where the problem is. Let's see. Yeah. Not sure why this. Something is quite off. Oops. So if your object is not made in if you got problems with the mesh, then, well, damn it. Can't get rid of this. Okay, you know what? Damn it. Yeah, exactly. This is, yeah, that's the problem with a bad mesh. You see that there's a merged here, and it shouldn't be. So, yeah, that's the problem with a bad mesh. It's gonna screw things up. So if you don't have to use, I mean, make this double-sided, just don't, please don't. Okay, I'll fix it by looping that and looping this. Cut, paste. Yeah, now we're going to get into problems. Okay, I'll loop that. I'll delete this. Now I can see that this is actually merged together with the outside. So this object is made not in a good fashion. So if I select everything, it will actually, or select connected, it will actually select everything there. So this is, what is it? It's a bad, it's bad topology, that's what it is. Have this, it's easier to see if things got fixed or not. And it did. Perhaps we kind of like screwed up here, but we could just make a cut like that. We can merge these guys. Okay, so now it's kind of like fixed, I guess. Maybe you want to use quads for these guys. And for those as well. Remember to merge these back. Like that. So yeah, please do use a nice model. The model should not have thickness when you do this, unless you're doing something very specific. Okay, take this, clear the map, and how should we unwrap this? I think we're I'm just going to use ABF. I think ABF is quite okay. I'll take this one, that one, select that path, and ABF it, and that looks quite all right, I think. So we got these guys, not perfect at all, but you know, not that bad either. You know what? Let's try PLG. See how PLG goes about it. Why not? Again, using the same name, not texture, but unwrap, to make it go into this UV unwrap map. Let's take this one. I just want to turn off sub here. Take this one, advanced edge, advance. Take this and that. I never recall this. Let's see. This. Come on. Why doesn't it fly? So you need to hold down Control. Yeah, there we go. And make UV. Yeah, it looks slightly better. I mean, you can see that this here is slightly nicer compared to the ABF. If you got dots like this, these guys here, what you can do to fix it is you just merge everything. No, actually, you need to unweld and merge. That's going to fix that bug. I don't think that bug really matters when it comes to how things operate. But anyway, that's how we fix it. Seems to be just be display, or let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to use the stretch tool. And we'll use the stretch tool once again. And if I really want to be accurate, I'll just use the stretch tool on both of them to move them equally, or stretch them, or move them equally out to the sides. Yeah, I can also loop this stuff. So you could, oh damn it, all of these should be selected actually. So you could relax this now using relax UV. Is it really necessary? Probably not. Anyway, just wanted to show you. Right, so this video took longer than I wanted, but so you can see here that even with ABF or PLG, it's still not going to be perfect. You will have seams here and there. It's just impossible to make it perfect. You can't really unwrap a sphere and expect it to have no distortion. Doesn't work. So you could do this all day. This could take hours and hours and hours, but you know, if Atlas is okay, then it's going to take you just a few seconds.